Hello, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll discuss about a question, that is, why do we need iterative constructs in programming? Iterative constructs such as loops are essential because they allow us to perform repetitive tasks efficiently without having to manually write the same code multiple times. Without loops, handling repetitive tasks would be tedious, error-prone, and inefficient. So here we have used a word repetitive task. So what do you mean by it, repetitive task? So I'll give some examples of repetitive tasks in programming language where repetitive construct like loops are essential. For example, the example number 1, processing arrays or lists. When working with a collection of items such as an array or list, loops are used to iterate over each element and perform operations on them. Example number 2, performing a pattern. Loops are commonly used to generate patterns or shapes. Example number 3, repetitive user input. When asking for user input multiple times, a loop helps repeat the input process without manually coding it for each case. Number 4, automating file operations. When working with files, repetitive tasks such as reading multiple lines, processing multiple lines, or logging entries can be handled with loops. Example number 5, generating reports or invoices in business application. Repetitive tasks like generating invoices, reports, or summaries for a list of clients or products can be automated with loops. Number 6 example, applying some operations to multiple objects. In object-oriented programming, a loop can be used to perform operations on a collection of objects. Point number 7, repetitive mathematical calculations. In scientific or the financial calculations or in financial operation, repetitive calculations such as the interest calculation, factorials, or iterative approximations are handled using loops. Example number 8, running simulations or game loops. Games and simulations often require repetitive set of actions until a condition is met, such as a user input or gaming over scenarios. Number 9, processing API data or database records. When working with data from APIs or the database, loops helps processes each record entity or data point efficiently. Number 10, sending emails or notifications. Automating the process of sending emails or notification to a list of recipients is another common repetitive task. Okay, so repetitive tasks are common in programming language, and repetitive construct like loops provide a way to automate this task efficiently, whether it processing data, interacting with users, generating some reports, or handling large scale operation. Loops helps reduce the need for repetitive code, making programs more maintainable, scalable, and efficient. Now let's talk about an example scenario, calculating the sum of numbers from 1 to 100. Let's consider a simple example where we want to calculate the sum of all numbers from 1 to 100. Without a loop, you would have to manually add each number like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 till 100, right? And this is impractical for any meaningful range of dynamic input. But with a repetitive construct like a for loop or while loop or do while loop, we can efficiently handle this repetitive task. So here I want to give one example using Java programming language, but repetitive statement or repetitive construct are available in each and every programming language. You can use any programming language to implement this iterative construct. So here we'll use the Java programming language to show you that how you can utilize the iterative construct. So as you can see over here, we have a program, Java programming language program, and we have a class sum of number, which is public class. Okay, and here in this part you can see here is our main method, which is the entry point of a program, and we have initialized a sum variable with 0. Okay, and after that this part is the repetitive task or repetitive construct of Java programming language, and this is one of the repetitive construct, that is for loop. And for loop, in for loop there is a three different part: initialization part, the second one is the condition part, and the third one is the increment part. And this operation will do repetitively from 1 to 100, and each time it will add each and every iteration with the value I with the sum variable. So this operation add each number to the sum, that means 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. This way it will calculate each time and it will be inserted in the variable sum, and after the end we are printing our final summation. So we are using here system.out.println the sum of the number from 1 to 100 is, and then we have to specify the variable name, that is the sum. So if we'll compile it and if we'll run it, it will produce this particular result. Okay, 5050, which is the correct one. So we have minimized the number of lines and manual effort with these three different number of lines, which is nothing but a iterative construct. If we'll discuss about why iterative construct or iteration necessary here, so for that you can say number 1 efficiency, number 2 scalability, number 3 code maintainability, number 4 dynamic input. So why efficiency is required? Instead of manually summing 100 numbers, the loop allows us to automate the process, performing the additional 100 times in just a few lines of code. Also, scalability is very much important, right? Why? Let me give an example. If you were to sum number from 1 to 1000, then, or even the higher number, 1 to 1000 or even higher number, you would simply adjust the range over here, right, without changing the rest of the code. Without iteration, you would have to manually modify the code for each new range. The point number 3 that we need to understand, the code maintainability. With iteration, the code becomes easier to understand. With iteration, the code becomes easier to understand, modify and maintain. A loop provides a clear and concise way to perform repetitive tasks. Also, dynamic input also important. In real world application, the input is often not fixed. Iteration allow the program to handle different range of data dynamically. For instances, if the user wants the sum of the number from 1 to user defined value, you can easily adapt the loop to handle this. For example, if you want a variable that will define the range from here, so you can use n over here and you can take the value of n from the user and it will be a dynamic input. So in conclusion, we can say we require iterative construct to handle repetitive tasks efficiently, making our code concise, flexible, scalable. Without iteration, tasks like summing number, processing list, or handling dynamic data would become cumbersome and prone to error. Loop allow us to automate and streamline repetitive tasks, saving time and efforts. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any question regarding it, you can write it in the comment section. We'll try to solve your problem as soon as possible. So thanks for watching this one. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.